For your brain to be sharp, there is a plan for that. For your blood to flow well, there is a plan for that. For your heart to beat well, there is a plan for that. For your joints to function well, there is a plan for that. Life is nothing less, nothing more but harmony of nature. The cure we ignored. Most of the times when somebody, or most of the speakers I've had, whenever they want to talk about life, all they do is they start with either man, an animal, or a plant. But with me, I'm going to start with the word harmony. All the way before the hand of man was able to do what it could do on Earth's surface, before man could shape the world, what existed was harmony. Now, you might be asking, harmony for what? There was sun. There was soil. There was water. There was air. There came plants. Then lastly, there came man. These 6 things had to work on what we call, or with what we call harmony. They had to respect this harmony. What do I mean? The sun existed to provide energy. This was energy. This sun met something we call the soil. So the sun, the source of energy, met what we call the soil. Then, in between the sun and the soil, there existed something. This thing was called air and water. Air and water were purposefully to help prevent this sun's energy, or to convert the sun's energy to something better. Something that what we call a plant could use. Harmony existed. Harmony of what? Sun, soil, water, air, plant, man, or animal. Now, the sun provides energy. This energy has to hit the soil or land. But now, if this energy could hit the soil or land directly, it would mean something wrong could happen, because this energy is very intense. It has to be, like seed. It has to be taken care of before it lands. It has to be taken care of before it lands. Now, who is going to take care of this? So the air and the water were created to take care of the sun's energy, so that whenever it lands on the soil, it is able to be useful. Now, the soil, after getting all these, produces what we call a plant. Now, this plant is, according to me, the factory. The plant is more of a factory of these raw materials. The plant now becomes the factory of the raw materials to produce something that is so unique, needed by this thing we call man or animal. This will only exist if there is harmony, if these things can work together harmoniously. That's why we say you've got to go back to nature. You've got to go back to what life had to give you. And the only way to go back to what life had to give you is through, most probably, 80%, 90%, 95% through a plant. Why? Because a plant is able to convert energy into something more important that your body needs. There is something you can get from drinking water directly, which we do always. But there is something you can get whenever you drink that water through a plant. There is a different thing you get whenever you drink that water through a plant. There is something different you get whenever you breathe this air through a plant, because a plant already breathed, took some air. It converted into something more useful. So whenever you take the air directly, the way we are doing always throughout, there is a different thing you are getting whenever you eat that plant, because the plant has the air in it. Whenever you sunbathe outside, you are getting some nutrients from the sun, which is very much okay. But the nutrients more important you'll get from the sun through a plant, through the factory. It has to be manufactured in a way. It has to be manufactured in a way. Just the way this is a paper. This paper is merely a wood. But for it now to be a paper, for you to write on, it had to go through a process, through a factory, now for it to be a paper. The same way, for that wood or for that thing to be more important, you can't just go and write on a wood, but you can go and write on a paper. Why? Because a paper has gone through a certain process. And that process went or happened in a factory somewhere. For you to get some nutrients from the sun, you have to get them through a plant. The plant converted that into something different. Now, that something different is what you eat. It is either a seed or through a seed, through a root, through leaf, through a stem, through a bark, whichever. So this connection, this harmony brought forth life. And the factory of all this life is a plant. The factory of all this life is a plant. Malwa Francis, here I am. I take my time to write about the cure we ignore. The cure we ignore. This book is all about plants: turmeric, garlic, ginger, moringa, chia seeds, ashwagandha, all those plants. Because these plants are the factory of the nutrients the body needs. But unfortunately, human beings have, diverted. They want the shortcut. They don't want to depend on these plants directly. They are either manipulating them into something different, or they are directly depending on something different other than a plant. For your brain to be sharp, there is a plant for that. For your blood to flow well, there is a plant for that. For your heart to beat well, there is a plant for that. For your joints to function well, there is a plant for that. For your eyesight to remain intact or in good condition, there is a plant for that. Nature went into making that through a factory, and the factory was a plant. The cure we ignore is here for everyone, so that, we can go back to nature. We can go back to where life really came from. And life came from something unique, something we call harmony, the harmony of the sun, the harmony of water, the harmony of soil, the harmony of air, the harmony of, all that combined came and were processed in something we call a plant, or through something we call a plant. And this plant was the factory. The plant was a factory to manufacture what the body needs, when, how, at what time, That's why we have The Cure We Ignore. The Cure We Ignore is a book that you should not miss, because it is talking about how, anything edible plant, the nutrients that were hidden in that plant, the help that rosemary has for your body, the help that beetroot has for your body, the help that moringa has for your body. That is the combination of all this. Anytime you want to think about life, you should think about harmony. What is this? What's life? Life, according to me, is harmonious combination of different energies, from the sun, the soil, the air, the water, plant, through a factory called the plant. So whenever you see a plant, just know that that is a factory to manufacture something beneficial for your body. Whenever you see a plant, whether in root form, seed form, leaf form, stem form, bark form, flower form, whenever you see a plant, just know that is a factory that was meant to manufacture something your body needs in one way or another. Coach Malwa is my name. The Cure We Ignore is the book. Because it talks about how a certain plant is important to your life. If you haven't bought this book, please reach out and find one copy for yourself. Reach out and find one copy for yourself. Coach Malwa is my name. Life is nothing less, nothing more but harmony of nature. Whenever nature is in harmony, there is life. Whenever the sun can come straight from wherever it comes, in between it is controlled by air and the humid and waters, then it hits the ground, the soil, with that harmony intact. Then there will be a plant that will sprout. This plant will manufacture something that the animal will need and the fellow plant will need. This plant will manufacture air that will keep circulating. This plant will come up with some processes that will make some, water fall. So that cycle should keep on continuing, harmonious. Let's not go into those scientific processes, but we shall focus on the cure within.